Good evening, my friends. How are you? Welcome to another edition of Wednesday Night Live right here on Mike Avery Outdoors, on the Facebook page, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and on Twitter as well. My name is Mike Avery, and I'm so glad to have you along with us. As always, always a pleasure to have a chance to talk with you at the end of what is always a busy day for me. Wednesdays are my day that I'm in the studio. I record podcasts. Good evening, John. You're not working tonight. How are you? Patrick, nice to have you with us as well. As we, Craig Plowman, how are you, buddy? Nice to have you along with us. Eric, nice to have you. Lori, Mike, another Mike, Bernie, Ed, Johnny Bowler, the man, the myth, the legend. Bruce Martin, along with Brent. Hey, Tracy, how are you? Brent, nice to have you with us as well. Kevin, there's Kevin Kyle killing King Kevin. Did I see the big snake on the Chippewa? So what was, I saw it, but I didn't get a chance to take a look at it yet. I will. Terry checking in from Twitter tonight. John's along with us. John's headed to Canada next week. Let me know how that goes. Good evening, Jerry. How are you? Good evening, David. Brad, checking in from Mount Pleasant, David is. I was working on some projects today, as you can tell. Okay. What do you think I was doing today once I got out of the studio? Kevin says, first of all, Greg says, good luck with Ron. Thank you. Appreciate that. Kevin says, please watch the video I just shared to your page when you get a chance. The word of Kevin at the Wolf Advisory meeting today. Very interesting. Got to turn your volume up. I will do that. How did it go? Tell us. Sam's just leaving work at Jay's. A busy day. I don't doubt it. Ed Bolanowski checking in from Vegas. Lori's getting ready for her catfish. Where is she? Catfish noodling. It is paint. That's for sure. It's paint. Can you guess what color I've been painting? And as soon as I get done here right now, I'll be painting again. I'm doing well, Julie. How are you? Thank you, William. Appreciate that. Jim says, what day is it? Mike, what day is it? It's hump day. Hump day. Thanks for asking. How has the fishing been? I don't have a clue, John. I have not been fishing since we last did a Wednesday Night Live. And I got to be honest, my schedule doesn't look real good here for the next week either. Kevin says, from what I've heard, the people who spoke, standing 100 well-spoken, made very good points in support of the wolf hunt. Of course, I hope so. Yeah, I haven't been on the water. I've been tied up on some work things, been tied up on some things around the house. And now, as I get ready for the bear hunt in White River, Ontario, I'll get busier again. Ed seeing some nice bucks in Alcona County. Jason says he stopped by. Jason said he stopped at Rapid River Knives, tried to use his Avery 20 code to reduce his bill, but it didn't work. There's a reason for that, Jason. There is no Avery 20 code at Rapid River. Johnny says, hey, Mike, we're having a Wednesday Night Live at Andy's 4 with you, giving free shots of Maker's Mark to the first 10 people that come through the door. Oh, Johnny, if I left right now, I still wouldn't be one of the first 10. And as soon as I get done, well, you can see I've been sanding, sanding and painting. I'll be so glad when this project is done. Mad Jack checking in on YouTube. How are you? Yeah, that Avery 20 code isn't going to work at Rapid River. I do have some codes that'll save you some money. At outdoorpregame.com, at michiganbrand.net, mucc.org and versaskins.com, and I'll talk more about those in a minute. But I have not been in the water, and it's really, really killing me. Kenny Slavin's checking in from JaySportingGoods.com. Okay, my buddy Tony says, fishing slow all over at the bay today. Friday wind supposed to blow. Looks good. Need that chop. It's not looking good for me, Tony. Dave got his alfalfa food plot in today. Excellent. Johnny says he'll put it on ice. It'll still be there. You don't have to put that stuff on ice. You can leave it at room temp. It'll be just fine. My buddy, Eric says, has 11 points for bear in Red Oak and still didn't draw a tag. What's going on? Because you need more than 11 points for Red Oak. I think you need something like 15. Something like 15. Couple of reasons for that. Red Oak is a very popular unit, and I don't believe they have multiple hunts or multiple seasons. I think it's just the one. But also, the Michigan Bear Hunters Association, and I'm not knocking them at all, I support them, but the Michigan Bear Hunters Association has gotten the ear of the DNR and convinced them that we don't need to put out any more bear tags. And the DNR is listening to the Michigan Bear Hunters Association and their constituents. They should. And that doesn't help the cause at all. Barry, how are you? Jason, nice to have you along with us. 15 points. Yeah, something like that. Red Oak is real hot. What's the other one? On the west side of the state. Baldwin is tough to get points for. Newberry first season is tough to get points for. It takes about 9 points there. But if you go to the second season or third season, you can get one every other year. Hello, Martin. How are things in your world? Where'd you go, Martin? I just had you here. Martin is there. Dan says Red Oak needs to be split up. It is a big bear management unit, isn't it? Afternoon, Cody. How are you? John Cook, good evening. How are you, my friend? Drummond is 18 or 19 points. Now, keep in mind that 18 or 19 points equates to 18 or 19 years. True North, I think I got an email or a message from you today, didn't I? If that's who I'm thinking of, and I've been very busy and distracted today. I appreciate your email. I want to follow up with you on that. I will follow up with you on that. Jason had 9 points, didn't get a Newberry tag. So apparently it takes more than 9 points years to get a new Newberry first season tag. Cookie says lots of bears up here this year. Well, that's what I'm thinking, John, because your bears haven't been hunted in a year and a half, and I hear there's no berries, so they should be pounding the baits. Pat, nice to have you with us, as always. We should, Johnny, but late October ain't going to happen. It's about as cheap to go to Canada, Mark says. You know what? I can't argue with that. And Ron St. Louis still has openings, Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters, for $1,300. You can get a bear tag and go with him. Good evening, Tim. How are you? Bob, nice to have you along with us as well. By the way, my name is Mike Avery. This is Wednesday Night Live. This is something I do every Wednesday night here on most of my social media outlets. I'm not going to live to Instagram tonight, although I did go live to Instagram this morning, but it was kind of a Rube Goldberg situation to get a bunch of different devices to make it happen. Okay. I'm not coming down with zebraitis. Just been doing some painting. Didn't have time to clean my hands off. Just had time to run in the house here and jump in front of the camera. Okay, a couple things I want to talk about. Yes, no berries in the bush, and the bears are in town every day. Cookie, from what I've seen up there, and you would be more of an expert than I, certainly, but on the years when we've seen bears in town in pretty good numbers, the hunting has been fantastic. And that's, I think, what we're going to see this year, isn't it? couple things I want to talk about. The days are certainly getting shorter. Summer is slipping away. The kids are going to be heading off to school here very soon. If you have not crossed off your wish list of things that you wanted to do this summer, get to it. Bernie says no berries equals lighter weights. But the fact that they've got another year and a half of age under them, I think, will more than offset that. Jason says there are lots of berries in the Gould City area. So, I mean, don't let the summertime slip by and you look back come January and go, man, we should have done that. Johnny says, why do you say that? Why do I say what, Johnny? I have not been fishing. Good evening, Dave. How are you? Again, it's breaking my heart. Although Tony's out there almost every day, keeping an eye on it for me. Paul, good evening. How are you? I'm not building a new trophy room. I figure I've shot Jerry about as many trophies as I'm going to shoot. My urge to shoot new trophies is almost non-existent. No berries, less weight. I didn't say that, Johnny. I was tacitly acknowledging the comment. I don't necessarily agree it because you and I know that they have lots of things other to eat than berries. My comment was if there is a loss of weight because of no berries, they've got an extra year and a half on them. But yeah, I agree with you, Johnny. I'm not saying that not having berries for 1 4-week period is going to negatively impact the weight significantly. Trophy room. No, I don't have much of a desire for that anymore. Like I do want to shoot a bear. I want to shoot a deer this year, but Johnny says we feed them thousands of pounds and they don't gain a lot, was to his comment. Scott Hand, last Saturday we caught 2 lip-tagged walleye back-to-back within 2 minutes of each other. Was one of them $100 tag, Scott? I was fishing with the grandkids one Saturday afternoon 2 years ago, and we caught a $100 tag. Martin says he put a check mark on his bucket list this summer. He went fishing with me on the Angler Quest, and it was fun. Maybe already mentioned, but the DNR has 2020 successful deer hunter patches available again while supplies last due to the pandemic last season. No, I haven't talked about it, but thanks for letting us know. Josh, good evening. How are you? Yeah, they've also got grubs and insects, lots of things to eat. Something else I wanted to follow. Scott, were you up north? Are you still fishing to the north? I haven't been out on a fishing trip in a week. We did make a river cruise with some friends last Saturday night. That was a lot of fun. No money tag, but you can buy 2 for $50. Oh, Chris, how are you? Nice to have you along with us. Yeah, I don't think realistically it could be my walleye fishing season on Saginaw Bay could be about done. Could be. All right, Johnny, say hi to the crew at Andy's for me. Do a shot of Maker's Mark for me. Eric says tearing up some anthills. Yes, you have the numbers. You don't need to give them to me, Scott, because I'm not running way up there. In fact, honestly, between this project at the house, my normal work schedule, getting ready for White River, Ontario, doubling up on shows the week before. Good evening, Sam. How are you? Plus, traditionally, this time of year, the fishery starts to slow down. I might be just about done, or at least done until I get back from White River. And I did to make the decision. When I go to White River, I'm using a crossbow. I'm going to use one of the new Darton Toxin 150 RDs, which is reverse draw. I'm actually picking it up Sunday. Sunday. Eric, how are you? Nice to have you along with us. Josh says, wish you could keep that Angler Quest for the late fall bite. It can be tremendous as well as the perch bite. I know, Josh. I could keep it as late in the year as I want. But part of the problem is the marina where I keep the boat closes down October. And by then if I'm going to fish, I want to jig the river is what I'm thinking. David says perch fishing getting better in 3 weeks or so, question mark. I'm not the guy to ask on that one. I don't think I've caught a dozen perch in the last dozen years. Oh, I'm going to use a crossbow. I decided that. Because I just know realistically I'm not going to have the time to spend with my recurve that I need to be proficient and confident. And I don't want to I don't want to be less than confident. Bernie says, is a labor strike in Canada going to affect your trip to Ontario? Don't know yet, Bernie. Don't know. Good question. Hello, John. How are you? I do know this. I checked with the chief of Border Patrol. What is it? Customs and Border Patrol. Good decision. Oh, on the crossbow. Gary, when I'm on with that thing, when I've had time to practice with it, and when I'm serious about it, I'm okay with it. I'm proficient and pretty accurate. It's just I just don't have the time to spend with it right now. So, yeah, the factory still is in Hale. I've enjoyed hunting with a recurve tremendously. I may not be done hunting with it, but I'm done for the bear hunt. Can I tell you who's on the Outdoor Magazine radio? Now, why are you guys saying good choice on the crossbow? I'm just curious. If I would have said recurve, would you have said good choice as well? Are you just supporting what I have decided? Because I will tell you this, Gary and Brad, I've never had a more satisfying hunt than when I took animals with a recurve. The brand, Jason, which brand? Predator or Darton? Sam from Jay Sporting Goods says Kings are on fire in Lake Michigan. We went Monday, landed 10, probably lost 10 plus. Biggest. Were you with Bill Hahn? Sam, were you and Bill out there together? Kurt Olson says, any news about the DNR about Michigan whitetails testing positive for COVID-19 antibodies? No. What are you thinking, Jason? You thinking people like Darton or they don't like Darton? You were with Bill. Bill was on the radio show this week, by the way. I know they're efficient. Where'd you go, John? I know they're efficient. I've hunted with them extensively for bear, deer, turkey. I think that for bear, deer, and turkey. I owe the animal. I do. Whatever weapon you're comfortable with is one that you should use. Agreed. There was a time when I was very comfortable with the recurve. I just have not put the time into shooting it this year. Gary, I think I asked you this before. I think I asked you this morning. Gary of Wild Game Dynasty. How are you set on hunters? Do you need any more hunters or are you booked up? Gary is a turkey, deer, bear, and I think an elk guide. Are you guiding elk hunters too? Oh, Mike, how are you? Nice to have you along with us. Let me tell you who's on the Outdoor Magazine radio show this week. Start out, Sam, talking with Bill Hahn of Jay Sporting Goods. Bill talks about getting ready for the fall hunting season and what product to look out. Mike says, look out for. I got a PSA crossbow. I think I made a good choice, but I'm not a professional shooter or a product tester. Mike, if you're happy with it, you made a good choice. Eric says, with all the new regulations and anti-assaults at recent NRC meetings, how do you feel we are standing in our heritage? What new regulations, Eric? I want to make sure I understand that. What new regulations? NRC meetings, the antis have targeted the NRC. They also targeted the Michigan Wildlife Council. How do we stand on our heritage? I am cautiously optimistic. But a lot of it's going to depend on how we respond. Any news on how Dixie Dave is doing? Dixie Dave is doing much better. We're not going to schedule a Wednesday Night Live anytime soon at Oscar and Joey's because he's not even open on Wednesday nights. Only open Thursday through Sunday. They are on fire right now. Open border, doe tags, etc., etc. I don't see that as an assault on our hunting heritage at all. At all. Whether I agree or disagree with the regulations, I don't see that as an assault on our hunting heritage. Unlike a lot of people, I don't hate the DNR. I don't always like the DNR. I don't always agree with the DNR. I think the DNR is a insufferably large, slow-moving state bureaucracy. But I don't believe that most of the people in the DNR hate hunters and anglers and want to screw with us. That I don't buy into. I don't. Do they make bad decisions? Do they make the wrong decisions sometimes? Sure. I make the wrong decisions every day. Doesn't mean I'm a bad person. Bill Hahn of Jay Sporting Goods. I told you then Tom Campbell of Woods and Water News. He is promoting their big outdoor weekend. Then Larry Jennings of Jonah Jigs. Eric says, and I am listening to you, Eric. I was using that in reference to the new regulations portion, but also the attacks on the predator hunting and the battle against the wolf hunt. Gotcha. Attacks on predator hunting. Is this in reference to the Kalamazoo County Board of Clowns, commissioners, and the Washtenaw County Board of Clowns, commissioners? When PETA and HSUS throw their huge coffers behind, when they get involved in local politics, they can make a difference because they got enough money. These local clowns, commissioners, react. I don't know. I will tell you this, Eric. I will be there Friday night. Or here's a good one, Jason. Or that our attorney general filed in California to stop the delisting of wolves in Michigan. That was a boneheaded move. I've talked about that extensively. To which I say, remember these types of things when people come up for re-election. Remember what they've done. Remember what they've done to us. Remember how they voted. Remember how they've acted. When it comes time for re-election, remember how these politicians behave. We do need more predator hunters. Yes, Jeff, I will be at Woods and Waters on Friday night because on Saturday of that week, I will be at Jay's Sporting Goods in Clare celebrating their 50th anniversary. So I'll be in Imlay City at Woods and Waters show Friday night, and I'll be in Clare at the at Jay's Sporting Goods 50th anniversary on Saturday. How cool is that? Second largest predator hunt in Michigan at Jay's and Clare. Excellent, Eric. Speaking of Jay's, we have a Wednesday. It's always the first full weekend after Labor Day. Perfect storm week. Where'd you go, Gary? A perfect storm we can prevent if we want to. Yes, opens at 3:00 this year on Friday instead of 5. Excellent, because I'll be down there early. Jay's Sporting Goods, September 8th, which is Wednesday. Let me just verify this real quick here. Wednesday night, September 8th. We're doing a Wednesday night live at Jay's Sporting Goods in Clare. I have not talked extensively with Matt Poet about those details yet, but I suspect we will encourage people to join us. I suspect we will have some giveaways that night. So mark that one on your calendar. Wednesday, September 8th, Wednesday Night Live at Jay's Sporting Goods in Clare. I don't know the details on that. Active participation. Yes, indeed. Can I get back to who's on the radio show? In hour number 2, Larry Jennings of Jonah Jigs talks about jigging for king salmon. Oftentimes, we think of fishing for salmon as trolling, but you can jig them up just like you jig up a walleye. It's a very interesting conversation. Eric says, dang, I can't make it. Bear opener in the upper. I'll be at camp. That's a good excuse, Eric. I'll take that excuse. Ed Eiche from the DNR follows up. I asked him for an update on Michigan's grayling reintroduction project. He said it's going to be a few more years. They have eggs and brood stock. They're letting the brood stock get old enough where they can cross it for between year classes so you don't have brother and sister fish interbreeding. But he said it's coming along. They're making some progress. Probably 3 or 4 years yet before we see fish in the water. Lori says, have to check your calendar. If she's free, she'll be there. I'm hoping you will, my dear. This week's Ask Avery segment, Sean Hodges sent me this email. Hi, Mike. I listen every week to the show on Wednesday Night Live and enjoy them. I've been listening for years and remember watching you on WNEM when I was a young man. And Sean's probably 40 years old now. And he was watching me when he was a kid. Makes me feel old. He says, I wonder if for a show segment, we could hear from Chris Durson on the proper way to sharpen and maintain our fishing and hunting knives. So I had Chris scheduled to be on the show, rapidriverknifeworks.com. And at the last minute, he had to go to the doctor. But filling in for him is Matt Seawright, who is a master knife maker. Long story short, what Matt says, the key is regular maintenance on your knives. Don't let them get dull. He said, if you let them get dull, it's very hard to get a good edge back on them. If you've got a stone and you know what you're doing, you can do it, but it's going to take some work. So his number one advice is preventive maintenance. Don't let them get dull in the first place. Last Wednesday Night Live involved driving up there in a snowstorm. Very true, Bernie. And we also had a Wednesday Night Live in West Branch at the Lumberjack where it was a tremendous snowstorm. We won't have to worry about that on September 8th. And then in hour number 3, we're talking with outdoor photographer Steve Jessmore about the art of taking outdoor pictures. And then wild game chef extraordinaire Dave Miner wraps it all up. He has got a poached salmon recipe this time around. Then I recorded an offshore tackle podcast. I talked with Alex Nagy out of Illinois. He talks about, I'm not jinxing him. He's a catfisherman. He talks about catching 40, 50, 67-pound catfish. Now that gets your attention, doesn't it? A 60-pound fish? Check him out at Twisted Outdoors, twistedcatoutdoors.com, twistedcatoutdoors.com. I thought I was going to have my new permanent tooth in by now. I spent 2.5 hours in the dentist chair and still didn't get it. Probably not for a couple of weeks yet. But I'm not mad at my dentist. He's a good guy. Eric says, always a pleasure. We are in the beginning stages of starting a new group and YouTube channel called Fuel the Heritage, which will be focused on getting new hunters, old and young, into the outdoors, from hunting whitetail, predator, waterfowl, as well as turkey and fishing the Great Lakes. I think that's an excellent idea. Monster cats for sure. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Ron St. Louis of Northern Wilderness Bear Outfitters, the man everybody wants to see right now. As far as I know, Ron still has some openings for the bear hunt coming up August 22nd through the 28th. You have to be fully vaccinated. You have to have a negative COVID test within 72 hours of crossing the border. You can download the app something Canada open Canada entry. I can't check mine right now. Fill that out. You can't completely fill it out until 3 days before you're going to enter, though. Open Canada. What is it, Ron? Ron's website is northernwildernessbearoutfitters.com, northernwildernessbearoutfitters.com. Perch in the Pine River, excellent. Rob checking in from the north. Ron says, we just got in from baiting and the bears are rocking the baits already. That's what I'm hearing, Ron. All right, John, we'll talk to you later. That's what I'm hearing. Will there be a Facebook page we can follow? Because the bears haven't been hunted in a year and a half, and I'm hearing from everybody there's no berry crop, it should be a good hunt, right? And Ron still has openings. If you're looking for a bear hunt, if you're disappointed you didn't get a bear tag in Michigan, you've always wanted to do this. This is your chance. You're not taking a risk by going out with somebody that nobody knows. This is a guy I've hunted with for many, many years. I know him. I trust him. He's legit. He does a great job. He runs a great operation in a beautiful part of Canada, and the people are friendly to us. It's not like going to Quebec where they hate us. The people in White River seem to really want to see us. Greg won't make it to Jay's. He'll be up in northern Idaho field testing some equipment on his bear hunt that I purchased at Jay's. Nice. $1,300 for that hunt with Ron St. Louis. Now, that does not include meals and lodging. Mike says, Ron, if things change at the last minute and people are not able to cross the border, would there be a refund or is there no prepay? That's an excellent question, Ron. If things change and go south at the last minute and we're not able to get into Canada, would there be a refund or is there no prepay? Excellent question, Mike. I'll tell you this. Ron is a very easy guy to work with, and he's not going to screw anybody. He's not going to take anybody's money and not give them a hunt. That's not the way he works. I promise you that. I'm not going to adjust that camera. I'm almost done here. I'm going to stick around here long enough to see what Ron says about that. If you want to get in touch with me, you can always send me an email to mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com, mike@mikeaveryoutdoors.com. My website is mikeaveryoutdoors.com. I'm going to wrap this up here in just a minute and get back to my painting. I'm painting green. Can you tell? Waiting for Ron to answer Mike's question. If things change and we're not able to cross the border, will there be a refund or is there no prepayment required on this bear hunt? I don't know what the answer is going to be, but I will tell you Ron will be very fair about it, and he's not out to take anybody's money without providing a service. All right, Paul, good night. Still waiting to see what Ron says. If Ron doesn't come back, Mike, I will tell you this. There we go. He says, we'll roll it over to 2022. How's that sound, Mike? Thank you, Ron. Roll it over to 2022. Fair enough. All right, my friends, I have some painting calling my name. And I may put just a splash of Maker's Mark in here to make that painting go a little more smoothly. Thanks for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live, abbreviated Wednesday Night Live. One more time, outdoorpregame.com. Use the promo code. Let me find them for you. Outdoorpregame.com. Use the promo code Mike20 to get a Wraith 270 see-through ground blind and a Breeze warm weather blind. MichiganBrand.net. Promo code Mike21. Big discounts on everything Michigan Brand sells. MUCC.org. Promo code Mike, all caps MIKE. 25% off your membership. And Versaskins.com. 20% off everything they sell if you use the promo Avery20, and that's good only till September. All righty, my friends. Thanks for joining me on this edition of Wednesday Night Live. I have a paintbrush and roller calling my name, and I hope you have a very enjoyable evening. And thanks for joining me once again on this edition of Wednesday Night Live.